Can't hear you.
Hey, this is Corine Lafont, your favorite radio host, your only radio host, coming to you from the lovely island of Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean on Between the Lines. You know how we do it here on Between the Lines? Always start my show off with gratitude or thankfulness. And I want to just express gratitude and thankfulness to the universe for me having another breath of fresh air, fresh mercies, fresh graces from above, and to be able to witness the beauty of the world and to have another guest on my show. She's so beautiful. She's outdoing me with her background. Maricelly Ramos. Maricelly is showing me up today. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you a bit
Thank you.
about Maricelly. You're welcome. We are talking today, by the way, about taking back your power. Let me repeat that. Taking back your power. And you might be wondering what power you need to take back. Did you ever give up any control in the first place? We don't know. Some of you may need to be listening to this. But let me tell you a bit about Maricelli. So, Maricelli Ramos is a domestic violence survivor. After years of abuse, she decided to use her voice and story and wrote her first #1 Amazon bestselling book, Who Is She? A story of trauma, survivor, and healing. She's a certified life coach and helps women reconnect with themselves after trauma. She is the CEO and creator of Lash Mary, a cosmetic brand. Isn't that awesome? She's also a mother of four. She doesn't look it. I mean, not that I know what a mother of four is supposed to look like, but she doesn't even look like that. And is currently working on a podcast for women, trauma, abuse, motherhood, and growth. And we're going to check out her website. You know how we do it here. The website is going to come a little bit later, and we're going to be going straight into our discussion right now. Taking back your power. Maricelli, it's great to have you. I'm noticing the internet. I need to start setting good love vibes. Is trying to disconnect and disrupt us, but we are pushing with positive vibes here today. This is going to be awesome, and we are going to do great. Okay, no matter what. So, Maricelli, taking back your power. Firstly, what power are you talking about? Who are you to? And what do we need to take back?
Listen, I spent over 15 years of abuse.
Listen, I spent over 15
And
years
after
of
15
abuse.
years of abuse, I said, I need to do something.
Oh my word.
I got to do something to take my power back, my self love back, my self respect, my value. So I finally went and got the help that I needed. Because in order for you to get your power back, you need to be mentally fully healed. If you're not healed, you can't get your power back because it's going to take over you. So when I was ready to stand up and stand for myself, and I got the heal that I needed to be healed, I got my power back. And I feel really strong. It's like a new strength that it takes over you. Now you're ready to take on the world. Now you're ready to take anything that comes to you because you're so ready. You've been through so much already. Now that you got that power back, you're ready for whatever it comes to you.
Oh my God. Marisali, give us a comparison because you sound like you suddenly got superpowers and the kryptonite can't do anything to you here right now. You're mashing up the kryptonite. I want to know what was the kryptonite before? What was the kryptonite before and what was Marisali before? So that persons listening to this can identify with the before, the during the work that you had to do, and then the after, where you have the cape on, the S on your chest, and you're raring to go.
I was really weak in the past. I had all these men taking over me, controlling me. It's like life was controlling me instead of me controlling life. And sometimes when you don't have that self-love, that self-value, it's like you're kind of weak. Your mind is weak, your self is weak. So when you're working on things and you're ready to be like, you know what? I'm ready to love myself. I'm ready to overcome the trauma, the pain, the abuse. Everything will fall into place.
Wow. Wow. I'm seeing that we're having a bit of a delay here, Maricelli. Are you still hearing me?
I'm hearing you, yes.
I want you to keep going. Take us through your story of the abuse,
Yeah,
the
definitely.
surviving.
My
Take us through. I am,
my abuse
let me
started
tell
at
you,
15.
hold on, Maricelli. I am going to try and reconnect here. So I want you to keep talking, keep the conversation going, and I'm going to rejoin you in a minute, okay?
Definitely. So my abuse started at the age of 15 with somebody who was 7 years older than me. So me as a 15-year-old, I'm still young. I'm still immature. I didn't know what I was doing. So of course, this person, not only me growing up with this person, he's controlling me. He's molding me into the person that he wants me to be. So me growing up into abuse into the age of 30, I didn't have any power. I was weak-minded. I fully lost myself. I lost everything that I had. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have any goals. I kept having all these children back to back by this person. And it's because that's all I knew. He's all I knew. So after 11 years of dealing with that, you would have thought, hey, it's over. No, it's not over. I met somebody else who was worse because not only that person abused me, he abused my daughter. So at that time, you know, what am I going to do now? What's going to happen to me? How can I make things different? How can I make it to my kids? So in between that, I left that relationship. It took me years to get to know myself, what I want. Now I met somebody else, right? And now it's reactive abuse. I'm the abuser. I'm the one that's putting him through certain situations. Um, well, in between, I'm still trying to learn myself. You know, I didn't want to get help. I was a little bit embarrassed. I was so embarrassed in no one knew that I was going through so much abuse, that I was going through alcohol, and I was kind of losing my children into mental health. And that's when I said, okay, now what? What do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do with yourself? So I finally, I got therapy. I learned breathing techniques. I kind of identified the triggers that was just bothering me. So when I finally got the help and identified the triggers, I was able to, put myself back together and kind of connect the dots into, okay, this is the first goal. This is the first trigger. This is what you're going to work on. And sometimes we want to rush healing, and rushing healing can just kind of take 10 steps back. So what I did little by little, I identified a goal that I wanted to work on, and that's exactly what I did. Because in order for me to help my children, I had to help myself first. I was empty. I was completely empty. I was clueless. I was lost. I didn't even know myself. So when I finally got to know myself, I got to know my children, and we kind of connected. I didn't have that motherhood love, that connection with them, because I grew up empty and I didn't know what love was. So that's something that I had to learn in between of getting to know myself. I had to get to know my children too. Um, and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful relationship. It's like a brand new flower or seeds that you plant and it's growing all over again. But yeah, it was definitely a long road. Definitely, it's like a butterfly. Like I wrote in my book, it was a butterfly, right? So it's 4 steps, right? You go through abuse, you go through pain, you go through trauma, and then you grow. So it's just steps by step, just like a butterfly. So definitely, just get into it's like baby steps. When baby starts walking, they take that baby steps until they fully walk. That's how us women with trauma and abuse, just step by steps. So definitely was an
Yeah.
experience to learn from.
You know, Maris, Maricelli, I picked up on where you were talking a while ago, and I can totally identify, relate. And a lot of us find ourselves in abusive relationships or abusive environments. And I wonder to myself, on a spiritual level, I shouldn't say I wonder, this is what I believe. We don't have a choice who we are born to. Okay? We come into this world to parents, to situations. And I believe from, and in talking with people, having many guests on my show, that we were sent here in these bodies, in these circumstances to learn something, to probably even help us define our purpose. It's like going through a bit of fire. None that I'm wishing these things on people because we don't have a wish. It is we are born in these circumstances to these parents, to these, and what we are going through from day to day, it's a refinement. Yes, it's a refinement of who we are, of who we are
Mm-hmm.
meant to be. And so it's not that we would want, nobody would choose to be in an abusive relationship or any such traumatic situation. Nobody. But I think it helps us to sharpen our skills, sharpen our mental ability, get to know who we are, what we are meant to be, our purpose, if we ever get to find that out, and become stronger. I am hearing such a stronger voice coming out of you. I didn't know the Maricelly before, but I'm hearing the strength and the power and the inspiration coming out of you. And you mentioned about love, loving you. And it's so funny. I mean, not haha funny, but it is so funny that persons, if you ask them, do you love yourself? They're like, of course I love myself. But then their actions are not showcasing or demonstrating or manifesting that. Because you're hurting yourself and you're not even realizing that you're actually allowing things to happen to you. You're actually allowing without consciously realize it because of the programming of the environment that you were brought up in that made you feel this is okay. So what I want to find out from you is when was that wake up moment? I don't know if you mentioned it when I was offline a bit, but when was that wake up moment that made you realize, wait a minute, let me take a step back. When was that moment?
As I mentioned, it's I was losing my children. I was losing everything, just mentally. I was just losing it all, and it was affecting my
Yeah.
kids mentally, emotionally. They kept saying, "Mom, what's
Damn.
wrong with you? What's going on?" My anger, I was taking it on them. It's like I was so toxic. Everything that was coming out of my mouth was toxic negativity. It's like there was so much pressure in my household. There was no peace. I was waking up angry. I was going to sleep angry. I was just so mad at the world. So it's like, I gotta be like, you know
Wow.
what? This is not healthy. It was affecting my children. So I didn't want it
No.
to extend where they start hating me, right? Where they didn't want to be around me anymore. So I said, I gotta put a stop to this because not only was affecting me, but oh my God, look at how it's affecting them. I can't take care of them. I can't be the mother that they deserve because I'm just so mentally lost that we can't be happy together.
Mm-hmm.
So, I
Mm-hmm.
definitely had to take care of that mental health. When I took care of that mental health, they kind of notice. They notice, hey, you're trying.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
different.
Yeah.
They tell
Oh
me all the
yes.
time, Mom,
Oh
you're
yes.
trying, and now I do things differently.
Yeah.
Like, every action doesn't need a bad reaction now. Let's communicate. What are we doing wrong? How can we do things better without yelling and cursing and just doing things not the right way? So children definitely know when you're doing things
Yeah.
differently. It's a different environment for sure.
Yeah, and a healthy environment, isn't it? Isn't it so great to have a healthy environment? I mean, it just brings you joy, love, bliss. Everybody's happy. You can talk without the argument, without spitting venom on somebody or somebody spitting venom on you. It is just awesome. You feel the growth. Everything just feels good in your life. It doesn't matter what else is happening. Everything just feels good.
And it's a long way. You have to mend that relationship. When a relationship is broken, you got to mend it, right? But it starts by you. You got to mend yourself first
Yeah.
before you mend the relationship. So, in order for me to mend the relationship with
Oh
them, I
yes.
had to mend it with myself. So, it's,
It
it's definitely,
starts with
feels
you,
different.
Maricelli. It
Yes.
starts with you. Oh
We got to be
my
held accountable.
word. And a
We got to be
lot
held accountable.
yeah, and that's right. And the thing is, most of us we look outside for the answer. It's like you must do this. That other person must do that in order to make the change. That doesn't work. It has to start with you. It has to start with you. This is such an awesome discussion because I keep telling people stop looking outside for the answer. Take responsibility, take
Mhm.
accountability for what's happening with you, within you, around you. I can't blame Maricelli for what's going on with me. I can't blame anybody else for what's going on with me. I have to deal with it here. And it doesn't matter what anybody else says. I have to do what is necessary to bring back peace within myself and within my home. Now, Maricelli, I mean, I am hearing a bit of Latina, Espanol, a little Latina blood going on there. Is that correct? I mean, I have seen Latina women, they don't play. They don't play. So I am
Yeah,
like, where is
I
that?
was born in Puerto
Where is
Rico.
that Latina in you?
Sometimes
Ah,
it doesn't discriminate, abuse don't discriminate. But see, now I'm fierce, right? Now I know and I don't settle for less, right? When I see
yeah,
certain things coming my way, I'm like,
right,
hold
right.
on, you're messing with the wrong one now, right? Because I got that power to kind of stop ahead of time. So it's like now it's like, okay, you
So
gotta back up.
where was that? Where is that? Where was that Maricelli before? The Latina blood, the
I was so
strength in the Caribbean blood. Where was it?
I was lost. And sometimes when you just can't find yourself, you allow things that you shouldn't allow. And I witnessed abuse from my father towards my mom. So you kind of grow with thinking that's normal, right? So when you
Oh,
now
wow.
experience yourself, but you witness it as grown, you kind of allow it. And you only allow it too when you think that person's gonna change.
Yeah,
Oh, they're gonna change, they're gonna change. But
yeah.
it's just there has to be, there has to be like right now I got boundaries, right? If I see that I have a relation with somebody that is not healthy, I just kind of let it go.
Yeah.
And it includes everybody. Sometimes it could be family, friendships. Just gotta let them go sometime, just to have that healthy
Of
environment around
course.
you. 'Cause, yeah,
That's right, Marisa. Girl, that is what you have to do. Set the boundaries. And you know, when you set
mhm,
boundaries, Maricelli, I know you've been through this. When you set the boundaries and you have your standards and you start loving yourself and you know who you are, what your purpose is, okay, and you're in alignment, people start coming at you like, "Ugh, who does she think she is? You know, she feels she's
yes,
all
that's so
that,
true.
right? She thinks she's better than whatever. I could get another one. Let her say, tell me, how do you navigate that? Because look, we're talking about taking back your power. These people, whoever they are trying to denigrate and break down that power once again. How do you manage that?
I got a lot of inbox of people that I grew up with. Oh, now you think you're better than anybody, or now you're different. It's not that I'm different. I've been through so much. Yes, you do want to be different. You want to
Yeah.
grow. Why would you be the same that you were yesterday or 10 years ago? Right? You want to grow. You want to be different in terms of what you allowed, right? Or things that you did before. You don't want to do them now. You do want to be different because you want to grow.
Mm,
Imagine if the things that I did 10
mm,
years ago, I'm doing it 10 years later. Where's the growth in between?
mm.
So, people like that, I don't
Yeah.
go back and forth because
Yeah.
they want to see me fall. So I just ignore them. Like, you know why?
Yeah.
You want to see me fall, but since I'm not gonna fall for you, I'm just gonna block you and let you see me shine. It's sometimes they want to see the old you.
I'm not gonna fall for you. I'm gonna block
Yeah,
you. You're so nice with it. I'm not gonna fall for you. I'm just gonna block you.
yeah. I block the
I
negativity. Like,
like it.
you know, I, you know,
Yeah, yeah. But
even when I wrote my book,
here's the
it
thing,
brought.
Marisa.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Let me hear you. Go ahead.
Even when I wrote my book, it brought some negativity to me, right? Because a lot of people are not happy with the
Yeah.
things that you write in the book, right? And at some point it
Hmm.
gave me a little bit of doubt, but then I said, "This is my story, right? This is what
Yeah.
I went through, and God knows how many people I'm helping with my story, and that was my purpose, not only for self healing, but to help the voiceless people, the hopeless people that think that there's no light at the end of the tunnel, and there
Hmm.
is." And in order for you to find that light at the end of the tunnel,
Yeah.
you got to find it within yourself first, right? And I speak to a lot of women where
Yeah.
their abuser, oh my God, they seem so happy, and they're so into what the abuser is doing instead of healing and moving forward. Forgive him. He might think he's
Girl,
happy, but
girl,
deep
don't
down
talk
he's not.
about it. Girl, don't talk about it because it comes back. You focus on
Mhm.
everything outside as opposed to you forget them. You're actually taking the energy, the time, the effort, the love that you could put into yourself and give it to that person. Hell no. Hell
That's
no. Take it and pour it back into you. take it and pour it back into you.
Right.
Because I'll tell you, the same abuser is actually stalking you. Maricelli, they're watching you. They're watching us. They're watching us. They're like, ooh, she's looking good. Ooh, she's doing this and she's doing that. What? Where are they? Nowhere. Nowhere, Maricelli. Just stalking you. Nowhere. So you should not reciprocate and stalk them. There's nothing to stalk. There's nothing to stalk. There's nothing to look at. There's nothing to think about. Move on. Keep it moving. Yeah?
I guess they don't understand, the things that we've been through. Like it was so hard. Like a lot of people might ask a woman who's been abused, well, why don't you leave? You know, we are afraid. We're scared. We
Yeah.
don't know what's after the abuse. We don't know what to
Yeah.
expect. That they might be financially going through
Yeah.
certain things. They might have a family. Instead of asking, why don't you leave? Help them to leave, right? Help them. It's not that easy. It's not.
Maricelli said, help them to leave. Help them to leave.
Right, help them figure it out how to leave and don't judge them.
I agree
We
with
get
that.
yeah, we get judged. We get judged by so many people. Listen, we get judged a lot, and don't judge us. We've been through so much emotionally and physically. Just kind of help us, navigate.
Yeah.
What can we do after that abusive relationship? We need so much help.
That's right. Yeah.
So definitely,
Yeah.
I'm
You have
glad
your
that
whole
God.
life. You have your whole life ahead of you. You have your whole life ahead of you. You have a clean slate. You're starting over. You could do what you want. You could paint that canvas in any way, any color. You could do what you want. You can do what you want. I want you, we're coming up to the end, and I want to be able to showcase your website. But before we go, to the website, I want you to be able to share 3 tips. Keep in your mind 3 tips that you can share with somebody who may be in an abusive or traumatic situation right now. But 3 things that you can tell the person that they can do. They might not be able to get out at this particular point in time. They might know how to start, where to go, what to do. Just think of the worst case scenario, and try to give up, whether it's a woman or a man, because it could be happening in both sides. Not only for women, it's also for men. What are 3 things that you can tell somebody to do while I am trying to get your website and bring it up here right now?
So the first thing that I definitely always recommend, get help. Seek help. And if you are going to seek help, do it in a safety way. Just don't leave. Second, work on yourself. Work on your mental self. Mental health is very important. And 3, reconnect with yourself. Reconnect with your self love, your self value, and then you do have a purpose. And it's hard, but you do have a purpose. So definitely those 3 things help me out to move forward.
Awesome. I'm trying to bring up the page here. Let me see. There we go. That's you.
Yes, that's me.
That's you. Let's break the cycle. Let's break the cycle, people. I love the boots. You're rocking it. You're rocking it, Maricelli.
Thank you. Thank you. It was my first photo
You're
shoot. I was
rocking
so
it.
nervous.
How do we get your book?
So it's available on my website. It's
We
available on
see.
Amazon
Yeah.
and Barnes and Nobles. And I got resources on my website. If you need resources in where to seek help, you can go to my
Mhm.
site. And I definitely have resources for anyone that needs, domestic abuse, shelters, legal help, or any resources. You could check them out on my website.
Awesome. I'm looking here. I want to go back to the home page to check for the resources. Let's have a look.
It's all the way
So
down
there's
there.
the book, just in case anybody wants to buy it. All right. It gives you a little summary. You also have a podcast. Awesome. Okay. So are these the
So,
resources?
nope, yeah, it's right there. If you go all the way down, it says resources at the bottom of the page. Yep,
Okay.
right there. So
Oh,
you can either
nice.
get
Nice.
or
So you
like,
have the
yeah,
hotline. Yeah.
absolutely.
Listen, a lot of people think, Maricelli, that the physical abuse is worse. And not we're trying to dumb down or make one more than the other. But you see this one here, psychological abuse, where they attack your mind. It actually
Yes.
takes over everything here. People don't see the marks. People don't see the indentations, the imprints of that for the rest of their life because it plays on you. Any thoughts on that?
You start to believe it at the end. You start to believe that the things that they're telling you, it's really true because they
Oh
just,
yeah.
it plays over and over. But just, there is not true. Whatever they're telling you, they're just trying to knock you down, but it's not true at all. It's not your fault neither. It's definitely not your fault.
Mm-hmm. It isn't. It isn't. And these people who are abusers, Maricelli, they are actually weak, and they realize your strength, and what they're trying to do is break you down to their level or less than their level so that they can control you. They realize how strong you are. They realize how intelligent you are. They realize the potential that is in you, and they cannot stand it. They are actually weak people. And you know what? Who came to mind? Tina Turner
Mhm.
and her husband back in the day, and he used to kick her, beat her, break up her ribs, embarrass her until she gave him that one punch the first time and realized, hold on, I could do this. And from what I understand, when people, I mean, in the research, when people look up the history, he's a smaller man than Tina. So it's not the size. Can you imagine that, Maricelli? The
And they start
man
playing
is
the victim.
actually smaller than her, and he had so much power over her until she realized, hold on, I am the one. Everybody's, I have the talent, I have the skill, I have the what, and this little person is coming to do this to me. So abusers come in all shapes and sizes, but you must take that power back. What are your thoughts as we wrap up on that, Maricelli?
Sometimes we might think, oh, they call me stupid. Oh, they're not going to do it again. The smallest words is abuse. Do not allow name calling, pushing, toughing, or putting you down. Because a lot of relationship now, they think that, oh, they call me dumb is not abuse. That's abuse. Like you said, it's not just physically. The mentally, emotional abuse, you're going to start to believe that you're stupid. So you got to stop right away. You got
Oh
to stop right
God.
away. Because if you don't start right away, then you're gonna allow them to keep playing with it. So, I think men knows when they're with a certain relationship who they speak to and who they don't, right? Or she's gonna allow it. Once you allow it once, it's gonna continue the cycle, and that's what you mean you gotta break
Yeah.
it.
Uh, Put a stop to it. Nip it in the bud, as we say here in the Caribbean. Nip that thing in the bud. You feel uncomfortable about it, talk about it. And be
Absolutely.
willing to step. If that man or that woman is saying something to you, or your friend or your family or relative, I don't care, it's blood, it doesn't matter, it comes from all kinds. Nip it in the bud, be willing to walk away from that person, and don't turn back. They must understand your power from the beginning, and you're not willing to tolerate it. Because once you allow it, they are going to open up that wound wider and wider and take full control of you. Completely,
Absolutely.
completely, completely. Nip it in the bud and be strong enough to walk away and do not turn back. That
Trust
is the
me.
key. Do
Don't.
not turn back.
Absolutely.
You understand? There is no such thing. I mean, you could forgive them while you're walking away. You could forgive, but don't turn back. And don't say, I'll give you another chance, because what you're doing is giving them another chance to abuse you in a different way, because now they know how to get you the first time, and that didn't work. They're going to recalibrate and come with a new approach. No, no.
Yeah.
Walk away, step. Don't go back. Simple as
I,
that.
I agree.
Maricelli, powerful. The Latina blood came out of you, girl. I am so happy that the Latina blood came out of you. Representing Puerto Rico. Oh my goodness.
El Coco Salinas.
You're representing.
Yes, definitely.
What was that? Come with that again, Maricelli. Say that again. Say that
El Coco
again.
Salinas is where my
Repite,
family
por
from.
favor.
El Coco Salinas is where I'm from. That's where I grew up, and that's where a lot of my family members live there right now. So, yeah, definitely.
Nice. We gotta represent, girl. We gotta represent. We are island women. We are island women, and we need to know how to set the tone straight. Okay.
Set boundaries right
Maricelli,
away.
it's been a pleasure having you. That's
Thank you.
right. That's right. I am so happy that you brought back your kids. You brought back your kids. You brought back your life. You have the world ahead of you. You have your life ahead of you. You're living it. I wish you all the best in whatever you're doing. Keep doing the work that you're doing to spread your voice, because there are many who don't have a voice. And all I want, like I say on my show, is to be able to touch the hearts and lives of at least one person. If I do one, that is significant to me. Somebody someday is going to listen to this and be empowered and inspired, and it may be just in the nick of time to save their life. I want to thank you so much, Maricelly, for being on Between the Lines. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.